April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Coming up, we'll show you how UT did their part.
Over student government.
Thank you for joining us for TVC Plus. I'm Kim Evans.
And I'm Mateus Fotorath. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and the Vols Walk for Sexual Assault Awareness happened Tuesday.
Here's our Kaylee Smith with more information about the event and how to receive help if you've experienced any form of sexual misconduct.
Students, faculty, and staff walked around campus to raise awareness about sexual assault.
I'm here today to help in the cause to support for sexual assault awareness. I think it's very important that we bring this to awareness.
Relationship and Sexual Violence Prevention Coordinator Leah Dreyer said the event was a collaborative effort between departments.
It's really about the whole campus coming together as a community and showing survivors that we support them and care, and really showing that volunteer spirit.
About 20 partners were at the event, including Title IX.
It's great that these stands and organizations are here to help support students in areas where they feel that they can't have a voice.
The Title IX office aims to keep campus safe by preventing sexual harassment, sexual exploitation, and retaliation, and they provide support to those involved in the Title IX process.
Director and Senior Deputy Title IX Coordinator Laura Bryant says students can stop by, call, or email the Title IX office to get help.
Students and employees can go through really difficult things, and if they do, there's support for them, and that we're here to stand by survivors, let them know that there is hope.
Students can fill out an online Title IX incident reporting form or report misconduct to the Sexual Assault Center or Family Justice Center.
When a student chooses to come into the Office of Title IX, they don't have to share any details about their experience that they don't want to. We are not investigators, we're the supporters. The harm that they experience does not have to have occurred on campus or while they are a UT student.
In Knoxville, Kaylee Smith, TVC News.
For more information, check out the official Office of Title IX website. There you can learn about what it means to get support, what it means to initiate an investigation, and more.
The Haslam College of Business has topped off its newest building. The final beam to the college's newest building was installed last Friday. Students, faculty, staff, and alumni signed the beam to mark a milestone in Haslam history. The college has experienced massive growth over the past decade, and as Dean Stephen Mangum explained, it's only the beginning.
Well, this is just an exciting milestone on the way to completion of the building.
The new building will feature 18 classrooms, 3 research labs, 2 academic resource centers, a food service area, and 2 large auditoriums. Mangum and Provost John Zomchik mentioned the ceremony space was in one of the auditoriums. Fundraisers and Development Director Paul Clark discussed the process and impact of the topping off ceremony.
It's the culmination of 4 years worth of planning, of conversations with our alumni and donors, of getting the word out and helping people to understand the impact that this is going to have on generations of Haslam College students.
The new building will be named Boyd Hall after 1979 alum and current UT System President Randy Boyd. Haslam hopes to serve 1 in 4 UT students with the new academic hall. It is set for completion in late 2027.
History took place in front of the torchbearer on March 31st when the 105th SJ administration was announced. For more, here's Whitney Reamer.
For the first time in UT history,
we are the first 2 women elected together to serve as student body president and student body vice president. There's never been 2 females in those roles at the same time.
I really had this overwhelming sense of joy and excitement that students, were confident in me.
It is a crazy feeling because it's so hard to believe that so many people voted for you and clicked your name on the website when they went to vote.
Caroline Marcus and Annabeth Thompson.
We felt like this was a passion for us, and we knew that this is where we wanted to be.
So it is one of the greatest opportunities of my life to have that honor with her. She's my best friend.
Are leading UT into the 2026-2027 school year.
No matter what hard work lies ahead, I know that I'm so excited to do it, and I will give it my all throughout this next year.
We balance well working together and being very good friends outside of school.
And I've shared the same feeling with my vice presidential-elect, Annabeth, and we are just so both honored to be elected to serve the student body.
With goals of connecting and engaging with UT students.
Because we want students to know that we're here for them.
We really want to work on the communication aspect and really be there and meet students where they're at.
And empowering women to step up and chase their dreams just like they did.
We hope that it, shows other women that they can be here and that they are welcome in these positions. And it's exciting for us to lead the university together as the first female duo.
In Knoxville, Whitney Reamer, TVC News.
Marcus and her team will officially take over for the 2026-2027 academic year, following the transition ceremony happening later this month.
And staying on the topic of presidents, one UT student is heading to one of the most prestigious events in journalism after earning a national honor. Gail Fanning, a political science and journalism student, has been selected as the 2026 recipient of the Carter Holland Memorial Scholarship, which is awarded by the White House Correspondents Association. The honor includes an invitation to this week's White House Correspondents event in Washington, D.C. Fanning says the moment still feels surreal.
It is crazy that I'm going to be at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So much has happened over the past year for me. And now I'm going to D.C. and representing over 40,000 students. It's incredible.
Fanning says the opportunity marks a major step in her journalism career, and she hopes to continue telling stories that inform the public and hold power accountable.
A new project on campus is showing just how much usable items end up in dumpsters every year, and how some students are working to change that. Grayson Thatcher has more.
Every year, dumpsters like this fill up with what UT students toss during move out. But PhD candidate Chris Mayer decided to open that door back up to show how much of it is still usable.
I mean, I'm drinking a cup of coffee. It was brewed, it's iced coffee. It was brewed in the Keurig over there. And the ice comes from the ice machine. All that's from the dumpster.
Chris Mayer, who leads the Dumpster Treasures Project, has been digging through discards since he was a kid.
I got in trouble as a kid for pulling stuff out of my neighbor's trash. And I've just been doing that my whole life.
Now that childhood curiosity has grown into a campus-wide collaboration. He's teamed up with UT's Office of Sustainability to sort through last year's move-out mess.
Clothing that's new in the packaging, you can see me wearing, hats, whatever.
Last year, UT recovered about 3,000 tons of material, but more than double that still went to a landfill.
Unfortunately, we live in a state that is very beautiful, but people don't have the tendency to take care of it the way that they should.
Outreach coordinator Wyatt Miner says as enrollment grows, so does waste.
I'd say we're probably bailing about 80,000 pounds of cardboard a week.
But buried in that pile is plenty worth saving. Mayor pulled more than 7,000 usable items that could have been donated.
You would never know this is from the dumpster. And so it's giving me even like new perspective, even though I've spent well over 1,000 hours dumpster diving in my life.
But we won't really make any traction unless the people or the residents or our campus population let other people know that this is something that they care about.
UT says one of the best ways to keep items out of a landfill is by donating or finding ways to reuse them.
In Knoxville, Grayson Thatcher, TVC News.
Now UT says one of the best ways to reduce move-out waste is by donating unwanted items or finding ways to reuse them. They hope efforts like the Dumpster Treasures Project will encourage more students to think twice before throwing things away.
An SEC championship is on its way back to Rocky Top. Coming up, we'll dive deeper into Lady Vol Golf's recent triumph.
As an athlete, if I'm watching a stream of SECs or NCAAs, I would rather see B finals or C finals instead of ads.
And just recently, the NCAA removed opportunities for swimmers to compete. Coming up, we'll share one former UT swimmer's thoughts on the move.
The Volunteer Channel works around the clock to curate UT news, sports, and event coverage. Best way to stay on top of all of it is to follow our Instagram at TVC News Now. You can scan this QR code right here to get right to the page. All of our content is created by UT students with the Big Orange community in mind. The Volunteer Channel thanks you for your support. Go Vols!
And welcome back to TVC News. Lady Vol Golf is bringing some hardware back to Rocky Top.
For more on the Lady Vol's first SEC championship in program history, let's head over to Carmen Rivera and Colton Mathis for this week's Rocky Top Sports Report.
Thanks, guys. The Lady Vols golf team made history this week after capturing their first SEC championship in Tennessee history.
The number 18 team won match play over Oklahoma and number 4 Texas A&M to advance to the finals against number 8 Auburn. The Lady Vols won 3-2. Sophie Christopher and Sophie Ongasaith captured early wins for Tennessee. Kira Van Can secured the win for the Lady Vols to bring them their first ever SEC championship. Next up, the Lady Vols will look to keep the momentum rolling as they head to the NCAA Regionals, which will take place May 11th through the 13th.
Now, on the other hand, the men's golf team is off to a slow start at the SEC tournament down in St. Simons, Georgia. After a disappointing first round, Lance Simpson rebounded with a second round 65, pushing him to 3 under for the first 2 days, while Josh Hill's steady play has him at 4 under to lead all Vols. The senior's play has him sitting in a tie for 21st place on the individual leaderboard. As a team, the Vols entered play today in a tie for 10th place at 9 under par, 3 back of South Carolina for the 8th and final spot to compete in the match play portion of the tournament.
Shifting over to the water, the Lady Vols rowing team dominated this past weekend, winning 5 of 6 contests at Carnegie Lake. In their contest against number 3 Yale, number 6 Princeton, and number 8 Virginia, Tennessee finished ahead of a combined 14 ranked boats. The first varsity 8 crew beat the field by 3 seconds. This marks the 4th consecutive win for the crew over a ranked program. The third varsity 4 crew crushed the competition, finishing over 23 seconds ahead of second place overall, Princeton. A dominant performance by the Lady Vols.
Staying in the water but switching sports, the NCAA has made big changes to what swimming events will look like in the future. For more, here's our Hayes Kelleher.
Thank you, guys. This past year, the NCAA took away the B final from the swimming and diving championship and took away opportunities for swimmers to swim. Now, I was fortunate enough to sit down with a bunch of familiar faces in the sport. Take a look.
That's what swimmers heard during the NCAA tournament when the B final was removed from the swimming and diving championship. But for Tennessee alum Jordan Crooks, it was a sad race to see go.
I do remember certain teammates would not have the morning swim they wanted and then make the B final and use that B final to have the swim of a lifetime and kind of prove that, like, okay, like I am good enough to not only be in this A final.
To swimmers, the B final is a chance to prove yourself once again. But what is it? For years, the top 16 swimmers in a meet combined to see who is the best in their event. But this past year, that number got cut in half.
Typically at NCAA's top 8 will make the A finals, and then the 9 to 16 would be the B finals.
But to the general viewer, it can be a confusing concept. Kyle Sockwell has become a voice in the world of swimming.
The pieces that I've heard from, the people in the entertainment space about the B final is that it's a confusing story to tell to an audience.
And UT alums like Jordan Crooks, he says it's removing another chance to compete.
I think we would all rather have B finals and not have them, not just because of, a time filler. Like it is I believe the meet lasts the same amount of time. There's just nothing going on the pool deck, from what I was told from the swimmers that were there. And then from the viewer side, it's just ads.
But for the NCAA and the CSCAA, it's about trying something new. They issued a statement saying, while some elements were well received, others require adjustment. Because of the change, it left a lot of fans and athletes wanting more.
Now, at the end of every tournament, the NCAA issues a survey to all participating head coaches asking what we could have done better. And this year, 91% of head coaches agreed that the B final should be reinstated for swimmers such as Nikolai Blackman, who placed 10th overall in the 50 freestyle and 13th overall in the 100 and the 200-yard freestyle. Now, the real question is, will they reinstate the B final before the next tournament? Only time will tell. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Track and field ventured to 3 separate meets across the country, but they shined everywhere they went. Tronard Folson placed second in the 200-meter dash at the Tom Jones Memorial, setting the 9th best race time in program history with a time of 20.36 seconds. At the Wake Forest Invitational, Mary Agawaka continued a strong season with a 5th place finish in the women's 1500 meter and lowering her own freshman record in the race again. Out west, Ethan Edgeworth came home 10th in the men's 5,000 meter at the Brian Clay Invitational, posting a personal best time of 13 minutes and 37 seconds.
Now, Tennessee basketball season may have wrapped up, but here recently, that doesn't mean Coach Rick Barnes and Coach Kim Caldwell and others are completely off the hook.
For more, we'll send it back over to the desk.
Thanks, guys. And nothing beats meeting Tennessee icons face-to-face, and that's exactly what the Big Orange Caravan is all about.
University of Tennessee coaches and personalities are hitting the road to connect with ball fans across the state to thank them for their support and build excitement for the year ahead. For more, here is Connor Whitney.
Nothing beats going to see people in that old-fashioned way, shaking hands and kissing babies and letting them know that they matter.
Big Orange Caravan is an opportunity for figures like Mike Keith and Rick Barnes to connect with the fans.
You're literally heading to their town to say thank you to them in person and to energize them to come back and see you on your campus and take part in University of Tennessee athletics.
We always talk about how much we appreciate their support and what they do for our program, and just being out there and feeling their enthusiasm, and it really it's fun a couple days that we get to go do this.
They have an opportunity to have pictures taken, because I remember as a kid I got to go to a couple of these events. I think I was like 8 or 9, and I mean, I thought I had just seen the biggest movie stars in the world.
It also provides another opportunity to directly see their passion.
You certainly don't want to take for granted how that fan base supports you on a day-to-day basis and what they're about and that passion, and to keep them as involved as they are.
Whether it's basketball, football, women's basketball, whatever, they love the volunteers. I tell everybody that I think that we've got the best fans because it's not just one sport, they're all everything here, and we appreciate it.
Reporting from Knoxville, Connor Whitney, TVC News.
The Big Orange Caravan gives fans the chance to meet their favorite coaches, take photos, and celebrate. It's all about keeping that strong connection between the program and the volunteer fan base.
This is the kind of journalism that I think we're going to need going forward, because I can't do this kind of thing.
Coming up, how one professor here at UT left her mark in media across Knoxville.
Burnout likes to be a little bit of a bully and say, like, you don't belong here. What are you doing here? This is hard. This shouldn't have been this hard.
Also, we're diving back into burnout and focusing on its effects on mental health.
And it's another beautiful week here on Rocky Top, but things are heating up. I'll let you know what's in store for next week's weather when we return.
The Volunteer Channel works around the clock to curate UT news, sports, and event coverage. Best way to stay on top of all of it is to follow our Instagram at TVC News Now. You can scan this QR code right here to get right to the page. All of our content is created by UT students with the Big Orange community in mind. The Volunteer Channel thanks you for your support. Go Vols.
From the tiniest creature to the mightiest giant, every species shapes our world. Bees pollinate our plants, elephants keep forests healthy, and coral reefs protect our shores. When wildlife thrives, so do we. We all have a role to play in keeping nature strong. Together, we can protect wildlife and build a future where people and nature thrive. Find out how at wwf.earth/species.
Why is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
Dear humans, I stand here today not for myself, but for every tail wagger, sloppy kisser, and curtain ninja. I stand here for each one of the thousands of dogs and cats killed in shelters each day, asking you to join our cause and help us make sure every best friend has a chance to meet one of their own. With Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge and your help, we can save them all.
We are the Tennessee Volunteers. And now is our time. Time for unbeatable experiences, for bold innovation, for historic moments. It's time to do what Vols do best. More life-changing research, more problem solving, more lighting the way. We have what it takes. It takes a volunteer.
Welcome back, Vols. I'm Maggie Schwerking here to give you your weather for this week. Now, coming up, we have, this is our weekend forecast right here. Now, as you see, Friday, which is today, it's going to be a high of 83 and a low of 60. Saturday, we have a high of 76 and a low of 54, and that's going to be the coldest it's going to be all weekend. Now, coming into Sunday, we have a high of 80. Now, as you can see, there's a common theme here. There's going to be some rain. Now, I know rain isn't necessarily everybody's favorite, but in East Tennessee, we are in a little bit of a drought, so it's actually a little bit of a good thing. Now, as you can see, our Saturday rain, right here, we have a 45% chance going from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. Now, going into 6 p.m., we have a 15% chance. Now, our Sunday rain, we have a 10% chance most of the day, and then we're going back, which, as I said before, the rain is good because, as you can see, April showers bring May flowers. Now, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Maggie. For the first time in Tennessee state history, a canine officer was airlifted to the University of Tennessee Veterinary Hospital from North Carolina. He's a 6-year-old dog named Luca.
Dawson Durrett is outside UT College of Veterinary Medicine to tell us more.
Yeah, that's right. Now, this is actually the first time a canine was airlifted into the state of Tennessee. Luca was at risk for acute lung injury. I was able to speak with a critical care resident here at UT Veterinary to give me a look at Luca's treatment.
He initially came off of the helicopter and into our ICU. We performed our initial triage examination.
Our team monitored Luca like any other respiratory condition, monitoring breathing closely. Now, after this emergency treatment here at UT, Luca is on his way back home to North Carolina and hopefully is on the road to a slow recovery. Now, back to you all at the desk.
Thanks, Dawson. And if you're in Dollywood or the Smoky Mountain area, the American Eagle Foundation is looking for your help in bringing 3 missing bald eagles home after they got out from their sanctuary after a big storm caused damage to it. The eagles named are Wesley, Caesar, and Rockland. The CEO of the American Eagle Foundation gave us some tips on how to spot these birds.
Keep your eyes open. Look in the skies, look in the trees, look in open field areas that they may be. We just the tracking that we've done so far, we still think that they are generally in the Dollywood Parks and Resorts area.
Now, if you're helping to look for these bald eagles, be sure to check if they have an orange or black band on their leg, as that is an indicator that it is one of the foundation birds. If you believe that you have spotted one, do not attempt to approach, feed, or capture the bird. Instead, contact the American Eagle Foundation, either by their Facebook or by calling 865-429-0157. And our Caitlin Kirkpatrick actually spoke to the CEO, who told us that these birds will have a big snack waiting for them when they return. Professor of Practice Melanie Fazer is making her mark in media across Knoxville with her newly released investigative report about the Tennessee Valley Authority.
Pfizer discovered that one of the largest power suppliers in the nation had involvement with the Bitcoin company BitDeer. Our Molly Polkawalt breaks this case down for you.
Professor Pfizer is stretching her skills beyond the classroom and into the community.
In about 2023, I started looking at incentives or money, basically, that the Tennessee Valley Authority was giving to cryptocurrency mines. So essentially they're using a lot of power for people to be able to mine, or companies to be able to mine Bitcoin.
Pfizer says TVA promised $18 million to the Bitcoin company Bitdeer.
And so I did a Freedom of Information Act request.
And when that was rejected, she refused to retreat.
I filed an appeal, and then they did release some documents, but then they were fully redacted.
And with questions left unanswered, she contacted the Reporters Committee for the Freedom of the Press, where she met her lawyer, Paul McAdoo.
We did an administrative appeal for her with regard to the request that we're talking about here.
And then in November of last year, we settled the case.
And found TVA was giving Bitdeer upwards of $21 million.
This is in the public interest. If you read about the TVA, there's a history there of transparency issues.
And not just the public interest, but also the students here at UTK.
This is the kind of journalism that I think we're going to need going forward, because AI can't do this kind of thing.
In Knoxville, Molly Pokwalt, TVC News.
Now, the TVA hasn't worked with Bitdeer directly since 2023, but since the contract expired, Pfizer got a hold of all of that information, which has now led to the settlement.
Pfizer mentioned this isn't about her at all. This is about getting transparency for all of Knoxville and beyond.
The burnout breakdown is back once again. Our Allie Seaton has once again spoken to some mental health professionals and assistant professor Shannon Scoville. This week, we're going to uncover some of the effects that burnout can have on your mental health.
Lived an incredible life. We're actually doing a found.
Burnout can take the energy out of you. It can also break down your mental health.
For me, and the way that I see it, is that burnout likes to tell us that we're not capable.
A few effects of burnout can be self-doubt, cynicism, and feeling alone. Some even experience a loss of motivation.
And where I could feel it mentally is I just wasn't as excited about what I was doing. I still loved the work, but the energy wasn't there.
But how do you know that these symptoms are burnout?
I didn't take enough time to even ask myself that question.
UT Chief Wellness Officer Jesse Gold knows that the overuse of the term burnout, along with the lack of education surrounding it, can make it more difficult to nail down if your mental health is being affected by it.
Like, I think people are like, oh, burnout. Everyone's burnt out. All of us just deal with this. This is just what you do. And I think like that mindset implies it doesn't have any severity to it.
But burnout can actually have very serious effects on someone's mental health.
It leads to depression, it leads to suicidal thoughts, and in itself can make you not as good at your job, make you isolate from friends, and just overall feel crummy.
Although the same symptoms can affect different people, it may be harder to tell who's actually falling behind.
And sometimes the students who are still sitting front row and being super active are also burnt out, but they don't know how to express that. So they're like performing their go-getter attitude even when inside they're falling apart.
Reporting from Knoxville, I'm Allie Seaton.
And if you or someone you know is suffering from the mental effects of burnout, be sure to look into the resources near you. Students at the University of Tennessee have options at the Student Health Center, and 988 is the number for Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Help can be just a conversation away.
A group of students are finally getting back and settled after a trip to the Kennedy Space Center in Florida to watch the Artemis II launch.
Former Vol quarterback and aerospace engineering graduate Josh Dobbs sponsored a group of students to watch a historic mission. Our Luke Lamry spoke to them about their experience.
Roger, roll pitch.
There was something in the air that day where it was like, you were sitting there, it's the nicest day you can even imagine, like perfectly blue skies, not a cloud, nothing, weather was perfect. Just everyone there was just excited, and there was a really good energy in the air.
So we got an email saying that he was interested in taking a handful of aerospace seniors to go watch the Artemis II launch. So I ran down stairs. My sister lives in a unit below me. And I was like, Kylie, it's happening. I'm getting to go to Florida and watch a rocket launch.
I was just kind of shocked. I was a Steelers fan, and Josh Dobbs was on the Steelers. So for that, I was like, oh my goodness, like that's so cool. He spent the entire 5 days with us that we were there. He was pretty much there with us, stayed in the same hotel, rode in the same van, even drove us a couple times.
I mean, you can tell he's very passionate about aerospace and has all these connections with NASA and keeps up with them.
What were you thinking when the rocket was in the air?
I don't know if I had like thoughts going through my mind. Honestly, it was just pure like, this is what I'm seeing. Really felt like yeah, this is what I was meant to do.
Very loud and bright. I remember actually like as soon as it started, and then I like teared up because I was like so excited, so thankful for his whole family. His parents were there, and their foundation, just the work they're doing, providing, you know, us with such an incredible experience.
I don't know if there's words for it. I will never be able to thank them enough. And they are just overall great people who are trying to do great things. And with their position, they are making great things happen.
Now, the group of 7 students spent 4 days in Cape Canaveral and also got a tour of NASA facilities, Kennedy Space Center, and as other test areas and prototype labs. Pretty exciting.
Well, that is going to do it for us today. Be sure to tune into TVC News at 12:30 on the CW channel.
And also be sure to follow us at TVC News Now on Instagram, where we keep you up to date with everything happening here on Rocky Top. Once again, I'm Cam Evans.
And I'm Mateus Fotorath. And as always,
Go
Vols!
Vols!